um, the day you start up is not the day you start up. The day you start up is the day you get your first customer.
Hi, Sameen. How are you doing?
Oh, great, Priyanka. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. All right, Sameen. So let me start with a brief introduction about us. I am Priyanka, and I'm working with StartupEd. I am a business journalist here, and I'm really excited to connect with you today. So, StartupEd is a place which democratizes entrepreneurship worldwide, and we are providing smart and intelligent applications and solutions for joint venture development problems which are faced by entrepreneurs in the ecosystem. So, the ecosystem basically, which is made of founders, investors, and incubators, any problems that they face, we are creating apps and solutions for them, and we are making their journey easy. So, that is what StartupEd is doing. So that's about us. So can you tell me a little bit about yourself and about the startup that you have?
First of all, let me congratulate you, Priyanka, right? Startup, it sounds very, very interesting. And I
Yep.
definitely feel community is a very big part of the whole startup organization. And I've seen that in my journey too, how the kind of help I have gotten ever since I've started. Now, to tell you a bit about Prodo and myself. So, I'm the founder of a company called Prodo, which is short for procurement done. So we are a B2B e-commerce platform that provides manufacturing and end-to-end procurement of consumables. So what we are building is basically like, we want to change the way that businesses buy today. Because currently when businesses buy in bulk, especially made to order products, they still have to go like, through the offline route, which is quite surprising because 76% of purchase managers are millennials. So in a day where you're buying everything from your chai to your cold drink to your sabzi to your kapda online, right? And even when you're buying a thing of 10 rupees online and it's being delivered to you with live tracking,
Right.
and it's delivered to you on time with service quality, this service doesn't like, spill over, and this service is not shown in the B2B commerce
Right.
industry, where even if you are buying something from 10 crore for 10 crore rupees, right? You go through the whole hassle of like looking for vendors, traders, distributors, manufacturers offline. Half of your time is just involved in this manual coordination. There is no
Right.
live tracking, right? There is no one touch sampling, and the experience level is just broken because of lack of technology. So this is what we are building, right? So Prodo is an ecosystem of technology. Our whole goal is like, once the order is placed on our platform, is matched to the right manufacturing unit, right? So we have a 309 manufacturing units as of today as a part of our network, right? These are small to medium sized manufacturers who have been heavily dependent on the vendor system. But this is like what Prodo is doing. So Prodo is removing the middleman. On one end, there is the client, right, who places an order on a platform. On the back end, there are manufacturers. So the order matching is done through the platform. In the middle end is our ERP system where the client can track all of their items. So we provide micro level SKU tracking, right? So suppose you are a big brand, you're a big e-commerce brand, and you procure around 200 SKUs of made to order consumables. This could be your packaging, your uniform and riding gear, your other disposables, right? So what we do is like we do end-to-end procurement and manufacturing. So you can just raise a request with us on the platform, right? This is the kind of product you need. These will be the specifications. This will be the branding. Then it will be matched to the right manufacturing unit. You can see the whole journey, whether the sampling is being done, whether the orders in production, QC has been done, whether it's out for delivery across all your centers. So for big brands, these centers could be anywhere from 10 to 1,000, right? And all centers are procuring in multiple hundreds of items. So now brands can track every item. So this is what we are building. We just have one mission, I would say, to make B2B commerce better than B2C, because we don't think that like 5 years from now on, like millennials and Gen Z will be buying offline, right?
Mm.
It will become online. And
Right,
anyway,
right.
the B2B commerce industry is expected to be at a $28 trillion market by 2028. So there's a huge market opportunity there too. So this is what we are doing.
All right. Okay, so can you tell me how you started this? What gave you the idea to start Prodo? What was your the moment that you realized, okay, this is something that I need to start?
So I will tell you. So what gave me the idea? Before that, Priyanka, I think I would love to tell you a bit about myself, where I
Please,
come
please,
from.
please do.
So I I started my journey with journalism. Worked at a couple of brands like Newsx, Times of India. Then my first corporate job and first startup job was at Oyo, where I was the content manager and ghostwriter for Ritesh Agarwal. So I think that is when shadowing Ritesh for 2 years was like a life changing moment for me, because he is a very inspiring individual and also a very passionate one. So just seeing how things happen. Also, what happened is like after Oyo, I moved a lot into marketing and brand, and then led brand and marketing communications for a couple of other brands post that. And in brand and marketing, you're always procuring things, right? Whether you have a media event or you want to do a branding event and you want to give some customer delight, so you'll be procuring gifts for them, right? So procurement keeps happening. However, the problem still remains the same. Your events will be getting delayed because the stuff hasn't come in, the products have come in, but your logo is wrong, right? Sometimes the vendors vanish at the last moment or stop picking up the calls because the industry is unorganized. And this was always there. And definitely, but I was always seeing this from the client side. However, when the COVID happened, there was a huge supply chain breakage of PP and wellness disposables. And that is when, I started procuring wellness disposables and PPE in a very traditional manner for big brands, like especially airlines who needed it at that time. So I started this in a traditional manner, got connected to a lot of purchase managers, and realized that, okay, me giving good service in just a traditional manner is not going to change it. The only thing that can change B2B buying experience is technology. And that is when the idea came up, and I became really passionate about it, that this problem needs to be solved. So that is how I started Prodo.
All right. I guess what you said that you need technology for it is something which we cannot escape in a day like today. Everything is dependent on technology, and traditional ways are good ways, but I guess everything does work on technology. So yeah, everything will have to go further on technology. Okay, so like you said that you worked with the Times of India. We have another thing in common. Me too. I worked with the Times of India as a journalist.
That's great.
So yeah. So what did you do there? What was your experience there like?
So it was a very interesting experience, right? I joined Times of India as a journalist with Delhi Times, right? So ideally, then I moved on being a lead reporter for Gurgaon Times. I went and also launched a product called Mirror Times. So I was doing a bit of managerial duties there, some editorial duties there, as well as I was a field journalist there. So I was doing some lifestyle and human stories. So a couple of my stories were very interesting. So did a police story, like how they face issues with customers for drunk driving. Then did a
Mm.
Alcoholics Anonymous story. So it was a great journey. I think a lot of learning experience there. But I did realize, right? So I always ever since childhood, I really so this is one thing, Priyanka, right? So my parents are now retired, but they were both teachers. And growing up, I didn't have a entrepreneurial role model, right? And coming from a tier two town, a middle class family, we were always told to go for service. So even like when I told my parents, okay, I want to be a journalist, it was a bit off. But then I always kept doing a couple of things, right? So my first thing was that when I was 10 years old, I told my dad, if you want me to make you lemonade, you have to pay me $100 for it, right?
Okay.
So I started selling lemonade. Then I started setting up these shops at all of my
Okay.
school fairs, right? So whenever there will be a school fest, I'll definitely set up a shop a shop. So all these, like, things were inside of me.
Yeah,
I
right.
think it's moving to the startup side. And of course, it took me some time, because but when at times when I had already decided that I definitely want to get onto the startup side, right? Probably learn a lot. So I was thinking of two things. Either I go and do my MBA, right? And I think it just
Okay.
got very lucky that at that time Ritesh contacted me and I joined Prodo.
Okay. All right. So, like you said that you had it in you. So, how would you what would you tell an entrepreneur? What exactly does the person have to be an entrepreneur? To have that thing that, okay, I want to be an entrepreneur. You can't just get up and be one. Is it like that? Or you need to have some skills to be an entrepreneur? What is the thing?
I think the only skill, and I won't say only skill, right? I'm sure, like, I think all entrepreneurs have very, I would say, diverse set of skills,
Right.
right?
Right.
But if there's one common thing, which I have seen in my journey across while working with some of the entrepreneurs, while a lot of my friends being entrepreneurs and me being an entrepreneur, is just one common thing, is that like, perseverance, the never give up attitude. Because
Right.
there are so many ups and downs. There are so many ups and downs, and I think most people give up. So everything
Mm.
else, right? Like, whether you're smart, you're hardworking, you're exceptional. You could be an exceptional communicator. You could be an exceptional strategist. Everything is like, it won't define what kind of an entrepreneur you are. But I think one thing that is important is just don't give up.
Right. The don't give up attitude is required. That's true.
Yeah.
That's true. All right. So, how many years has it been that you started your journey?
So it's been 2 years, right? For Prodo, we will be 1 year very soon, right? But we pivoted from
Okay.
CSAR to Prodo. So I wouldn't say pivot, like,
Okay.
since Prodo is the initial, like, a very, very new business. But yeah, but when I was starting Prodo, and I'm one of the very few female entrepreneurs and non-IIT entrepreneur who picked up funding on the idea level, and that too, if you picked up funding from top people, right? Titan Capital, LB, Oyo Leadership. So yeah, so top people. So at that point, I could have easily given up, because when I said, like, I'm going to pick up funding on my idea, everybody told me, "You're not Kunal Shah, right? You're not IIT. You're not IM." So just
Right.
believing in myself and trying, telling people, "Hey guys, this is a great idea, but I need funding
Funding.
because I want to hire best
Right.
people," right? So these give up points is not that it's gonna, like, you will get 5 years down the line. Like, every day you will have, like, things telling you that, hey, it's gonna be too tough for you, right?
Right, right. So, do you think that it's more tough for you than compared to a male counterpart that, being in this industry, being in the entrepreneurial industry? Do you think that it's difficult for you as a lady, and you, like you mentioned, not being from the IITs and IIMs? Is it like a little bit different or difficult?
So I would say no. Right. So entrepreneurship is tough for everyone. Also, it's fun for everyone who's really passionate about it. Personally, I feel I have been, like, really, really, really lucky, and I have not faced any problems saying that I'm a woman or I'm a non-IIT. Those are all opinions which I didn't listen to, right? So it's very important not to listen to any
Right,
opinions, because it's very simple, Priyanka. The thing you focus on grows, right? So I don't focus on the negative chatter. I don't focus on the narrative that women have it harder. I
right,
wake up every morning and I decide, hey, I'm going to have a kick ass day, right? And
right,
I go and have that kick ass day. Because if I start listening to all this narrative, like, oh my God, you're non IIT. Oh my God, you're a woman. Oh my God, women don't get anything. Then though I, like,
mm,
go crazy, because just in running a day to day business, there are so many challenges I have to solve.
right.
I forget gender, I forget everything. I am focused on my goal and I'm going to make it big. That's about it.
That is really inspiring. That is really inspiring because it generally, that's what people think. When you start thinking negative, you start thinking negative in all
Yeah.
areas of your life. So this thought process, I really like that. Really nice. Okay, so this brings me to my next question, that anything that you think is now that you know of, you think you would have done it differently? Anything that you think that in the beginning when you started, anything that you would have wanted to do in a different way now that you have that experience?
Um, so yes or no. I don't think there is anything I could have done differently, or say, or like, I could have done differently multiple things, right? Like thing could have been very different. There is always an opportunity to improve. However, if on day one you don't make those mistakes, you don't learn. So I don't have any regrets per se, if that is your question. But
Not
every
regrets,
day,
but anything that you think that you could have, maybe done a little bit different to make things better. Not regret,
yeah,
but
I should not have given to fear and chatter. So Priyanka, we are talking about that. I sound confident, but I wasn't this confident earlier, right? Earlier, I used to listen to this chatter that women entrepreneurship narrative कि उनके साथ तो बहुत ही खराब हो रहा है, या आइडिया ऐप से नहीं हो तो तुम्हारे कुछ हो ही नहीं सकता लाइफ में, ठीक है? So all this narrative, I wish I didn't listen to that narrative 5 years ago, 10 years ago. I wish I started long time ago. So this is something I genuinely believe I should have done it differently, right? Because this is if like I have to change one thing, it's just that I wanted to start up like
early.
earlier, because this is the most fun I have ever had in my life. This is the most happiest I've ever been. I truly believe that, like, I was just born to do this.
That's great. That's great. All right. So tell me that any challenges that you faced when you started out, like you said, the negatives were there, the chitter chatter was there. Any challenges that you had to face as you started Prodo?
No, Priyanka. So I would say challenges again are in every day, right? Especially if you're in the manufacturing
Right.
industry. So there are, of course, operational challenges. However, per se, no. Like so Prodo's idea is very strong, right? The team is very strong. While some people think whatever they want to think, that I'm a woman, for like, I think I have. So that's the thing, right? The best people and the best investors look for best people and the
Right.
best founders. They don't get into all this, like, कि क्या हो रहा है, क्या हो रहा है, because even globally, if you look at some of the best founders are college dropouts, right? And they're
Right.
the most unconventional people. So the best investors and the smartest people, just, I think smart people and good people will always attract smart and good people. Uh, and that's about it. So I genuinely, so these narratives have always been narratives,
Mm-hmm.
where I've like, it has not impacted me, and I do feel that maybe, like, I'm very privileged, I'm very lucky. So touch wood for that. But yes, yeah. And anyway, like, when you come from journalism, you have a very thick skin.
Right. I agree to
So
that. I agree to that.
so coming
Right.
from media, like, corporate world is all polite and nice.
Right. That's right. That's right. All
Okay, so
right.
yeah, so probably things
So
like, don't impact me that much.
all right, great. Okay, so tell me, what is it that till now you think has been your, that shining moment? What is it that one moment you think is your eureka moment that, yes, I've done this?
The biggest moment, right? So when I started pitching this idea that B2B commerce will go online, and procurement will go online, and clients will move online, nobody was buying it, right?
Mhm.
Nobody was buying it. People kept telling us that, like, a thousand of years people have been procuring offline. Even in a country like US, 50% of it is offline. It's not gonna change. Procurement is a gray industry. Kuch nahi hoga, wush nahi hoga, sab kuch nahi hoga. However, as of today, right, some of the biggest brands in India work with us, from Snapdeal, Delivery, Thyrocare, Grofers, right?
Mhm.
And every client, like, is excited about our technology. So I think the
Right.
biggest moment for us was like clients asking for our technology, eagerly waiting for customized dashboards. And the second thing was, like, without any marketing on our platform, nothing, we started getting organic leads on our website from some of the biggest brands in the country, right? We started getting leads from manufacturers. So that was the moment, because when you see your idea actually being used,
Right.
because one day nobody was telling me manufacturer क्यों use करेगा टेक्नोलॉजी, क्यों आएगा, ठीक है, क्लाइंट क्यों यूज करेगा टेक्नोलॉजी, क्यों
Right.
आएगा. The adoption was my eureka moment. So I remember like there were tears in my eyes the first day we got an organic lead on the website, because it was just not expected.
Right. 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 That's I think that's the moment when you realize that what you're striving for has, really literally started. Right.
Yeah. There is a saying, Priyanka, right? Um, the day you start up is not the day you start up. The day you start up is the day you get your first customer.
Right, right. That's very true. That's very true. Okay, so tell me on this Women's Day, what would be your advice to any women entrepreneurs, any early stage founders who are eager to start
Yeah.
their own startups?
Okay. So I think my first advice was that don't listen to anything negative. If you believe in yourself, right, you will get it. Just have a very strong belief, because as a woman, trust me, you are exceptional. And of course, I'm biased towards women because I am a woman, but I think we are just such brilliant creatures, right? We are empathetic, we are smart, we are exceptional multitaskers, right?
Right.
We have better threshold to pain. This is scientifically proven. So the ups and downs, we can manage
Manage
it
them.
better, right? So you are exceptional already, and you just have to believe it. You are exceptional, and don't listen to negative chatter. The world around you will evolve in a way that you want it to evolve, right? So if you have an idea, if you just believe in your dream, just go for it. And now there are so many platforms, there are so many women VCs coming in, and even if you go to men VCs, they're not gonna male VCs, they're not gonna reject you because they're women, right? At the end of the day, uh, it doesn't matter, right? If you believe in yourself, if you believe in your idea, and if your idea is strong, and you have the ability, capability to execute, please execute, right? So
Right.
just remember, faith can move mountains. So have that faith in you. That is like one big advice. Second thing is that I will advise do build your team first. I think that is where I got very lucky. So I was look at while you're exceptional, all of us have some weak points. So I would say create a chart before starting up, when you're looking at your co-founders, or when you're thinking who you want as a part of your core team. If not co-founders, who are you going to be your 3 to 4 people who you can depend on blindly. So create that chart, put your strong points, and then put your weak points. And for those weak points, find very strong teammates or co-founders or your direct reportees who will then because
Yeah.
you need a team to
Yeah.
like
So that makes it
anything.
100%. Like the
Yeah,
negatives
yeah, yeah,
and the weaknesses that you have are taken over by other person's strong points.
yeah,
That is a very good advice.
yeah,
Yes.
yeah,
Really
yeah.
nice.
So being self-aware always helps.
That's great. All right. So tell me, I will come to a mentor question. That do you believe in having a mentor? Do you believe that you should have somebody to guide you, or you should hire somebody to guide you, or you should take mentorship from like people around you, maybe somebody at home? How do you think it should be?
So I think again that's a very personal question, and that people will have to decide, right? So see, people are different. Okay, so I have a lot of people guiding me, but I have always been a person who's like, "Suno sabki karo apne man ki." So so again, you will have to yourself decide, because it's a very personal thing. I think having mentors is great. It's genuinely great, because again, I have a lot of people guiding me, and the the value that they add, because they come from experience and they have seen things, right? So nothing can surpass that. Their inputs are very valuable. So having a mentor or a friend in the who has done this before is a great idea, because you'll have someone to talk to. How that is, like, I would say definitely interact, definitely connect. But I would also say, I don't know if you can go and just, have a random mentor. I think a mentor should be someone who has probably worked with you a bit or knows you a bit.
Okay.
So, because see, if a person, a stranger, is giving you advice, that advice could be very good in a generic manner, but each individual is different. So I think when you're looking for a mentor or advisor, find someone who you connect with, who knows you a bit.
Right. Right. That's great advice. All right. Like you had mentioned, in COVID, there was a break in the chain. So, do you think that you have covered that bit? Have you taken care of that break that had happened?
So the supply chain break, so ideally, Priyanka, the supply chain broke in COVID because there were lockdowns, right? And that I don't think even governments have been able to solve. So definitely, right? Because if supply chain is broken, it is
Yeah, it is
broken.
broken.
Yeah, definitely we have learned better, right? So now when the uh, last wave came, so we were already prepared. We already told our clients, especially clients like Thyrocare, whose testing needs to be done. So we ensure that, because for all testing, gloves need to be there. So we had
Right.
already imported gloves for them for the next 6 months and kept it, right? So they never lose out of inventory, or they don't have to buy at a very, very higher cost in the
Cost.
midst of another wave. So yes, so the one learning that has come from COVID is to be better prepared. But again, for black swan events that happen like once in a century, you never know what's coming in next. But yeah, at least I think for the supply chain breakages, we have learned that when there's no solution and when the supply chain stops, it's good to keep inventory so your business doesn't stop.
Okay. Okay. Great. Okay, so now this one is going to be a hypothetical question where you're going to imagine that you can ask somebody to come over for dinner, and that person is sure shot going to come, not refuse your invitation. So, who is that person going to be, and what are you going to discuss with that person?
Oh,
It can be anybody.
I think it's going to be Elon Musk, and then we can discuss about whether life exists.
That's great.
So,
That's great. That is great. Okay, we would have, I mean, I would want you to invite all of us, then we could have like a chit chat with him and discuss about things.
100%, 100%.
Great. Great.
And
All right.
and does he have to bring Teslas as a gift for
Yes,
us?
yes, why not? Why not? You could bring them
Cool,
with
cool, cool.
chargers. So
I
that
really hope this hypothetical
situation
question
can turn
we
into reality.
yeah, very soon.
Great. All right,
Okay.
great. Great. So, I mean, it was great talking to you. It was really positive. I got such positive vibes from you that I think in some way you have inspired me. And because I feel that the part where you mentioned about negativity, listening to negativity and all that, it really does affect women in some stage of their lives. So I think this is very good advice for women right now, that any stage of life, don't listen to negativity. So I'm taking this back with me from this interview, and I think I'm going to stick to this. So thank you very much, and I hope you had a great time. I had a great time, and it was lovely connecting with you.
Thank you, Priyanka. Thank you so much. Have a great day. It was lovely
Thank
talking.
you. Thank you.
Bye. Take care.